think they've had this kind of buzz for a home game since maybe going back to that Michigan State game that they played out here about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, you can feel it, but the Ducks fans not necessarily convinced they're contenders. They want to see it tonight. Oregon won the toss and deferred, so Stanford gets the football. Adam Stack is back after missing the first 2 games with injury. Will be the kicker, and Zach Emerson handles the kickoff duties. So we'll keep a close eye on the Oregon specials tonight. They are a story. Cameron Scarlett from 2 yards deep. And he's tripped up out across the 20-yard line. So we're going to see KJ Costello, the captain, the junior, comes from Orange County in Southern California. And he's got a lot of huge targets to work with.
Yeah, he does. I think this kid's a future superstar. I'm really impressed with him. We had him late last year at home against Notre Dame, and I think he gave us glimpses that night of what he can be. Really complements the running attack, the big line, Bryce Love. And as you said, he's got some big targets on the outside. And we'll talk more about his receivers and tight ends as the game goes on. But that's an advantage for Stanford to put the ball up in the air to the big guys.
Yeah, you mentioned it. How will Oregon sell out to stop Bryce Love in this running game the way that San Diego State and USC did? Love has got it on the first play. They have not really been able to create a huge push in the middle. Big difference. They get Jesse Burkett, the veteran center back. He missed the first couple of games. He's a big difference maker for this group.
And the right guard, Herbig, is an outstanding player. And the left tackle, also Little. You can see Love. Really, the big tight ends with Smith and Parkinson and Arcega-Whiteside also. A physical matchup. It's a nightmare at 6'3", 225 pounds. Has very strong hands. Look at this lineup.
You get Nick Wilson, the guard, lined up as fullback in front of Bryce Love.
They're overloaded to the left here.
And stutter step. Love scoots for a short gain. It'll set up 3rd and 3 against this Ducks defense that has a lot of new faces. Take a look at Jalen Jelks. I think he's their best defensive player, projected as a first-round pick.
Yeah, Jelks at 97. Keep an eye on. This is a challenge on the back end. Thomas Graham's their most talented corner, number 4, and they will move him around, try to keep him the best they can on Arcega-Whiteside for the matchups.
Cardinal has struggled so far this season on 3rd down. They're 103rd in the country, just 33%. They need 3. It's loud already. Love on a delay. First down. And Bryce Love out near the 40-yard line. The ultimate home run hitter, really maybe in the history of the sport, actually, at running back.
Watch Faneka come around the left guard. Nice kick out block on the linebacker die. That's what really opened it up and gave Bryce Love enough room there. There's a nice block there. That left guard spot been a little bit of a revolving door with he and Devery Hamilton, but he starts the game off very well with a nice block on the linebacker Troy Dye.
Those 13 runs last season of 50-plus yards. That's mind-boggling. He's got one so far. Scarlett spelling Love, offset, and Costello looks to throw on first down. Flips it short. It's Scarlett, who is hit immediately and knocked down. The ball is out. There's a scrum. Are they calling this a fumble? Trying to unpile it. Scarlett was hit hard after the catch.
He was down. Ball came out after his body hit the ground. And if anything, he was juggling the ball. He's down, then the ball pops out.
Troy Dye, the linebacker, popped him.
So he picks up a short gain. Remember, we're going to keep talking about the wideouts. The more you pile in against the run, you leave yourself one-on-one on the outside. And that's tough against these taller wide receivers and tight ends.
Love. The crease closes down quickly, and again the Cardinal will face a 3rd down and 3. Carried it 4 times already.
They are setting up their offense clearly is established with the running game of Bryce Love. It has been since going back to Jim Harbaugh's days and Toby Gerhart. Even when they have Andrew Luck and talented skill guys, it's still about the running game.
Look at all these big bodies out
Look
there.
at it. How can it not be? Look at the linemen, the tight ends. Like you said, Nick Wilson wearing 54.
Reagan Williams is the fullback. Costello dealing with all this noise, and the play clock is winding down. They got to hurry. Just snap it. Love has to bounce it. A flag comes down. He will be tripped down right at the first down marker at the 48. We'll check the flag in the backfield. I think it's a false start.
What a play up front, but it might have been Jordan Scott who made that play, getting off a little bit too quickly.
They'll want to see where the ball is spotted before deciding on this penalty.
Holding offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay.
It would have been a first down, so they'll take the 10 yards.
The reason he's holding, this play's designed to go to the right. They're pulling the guard around. They want the ball to go here, but Jordan Scott right here blows up the center Burkett, and that's who's holding. You can see there's nowhere for Bryce Love to go. He wanted to go to the right, but because of the strength of Scott at 6'1", 330, he gets into that backfield. Bryce Love has to bounce it to the left where there's no blockers.
Big 330-pounder from Florida.
Monster.
And now it's 3rd and 13. Three-receiver look. Costello looks down the seam, throws it to the tight end, and it's incomplete. Going up was Colby Parkinson. Very well defended.
Holy cow. I think Parkinson makes a play on that football, and that's a first down. But I'll tell you what, Troy Dye at 6'4" as a middle linebacker, his length, ability to get back and go up and not give up on the play. Parkinson's hands, both his hands are on the ball. Watch Dye right there separate him from the football. Great effort there by the veteran in the middle.
And the Ducks force a punt by Jake Bailey. Hugo Amadi, their defensive leader, and a fine punt returner, will signal a late fair catch at the 18-yard line. So the Cardinal run 6 plays, get a first down, but are forced to punt 47 yards that time. Justin Herbert, the local hero, very cerebral, smart guy, a perfectionist by nature, learning to become a more vocal leader. He'll operate behind an offensive line with 4 juniors and the sensational Penei Sewell. They beat Alabama and everybody else on a left tackle. Day 1 starter, Kirk.
Yeah, he is a talented player, and this skill. I mean, they've got great speed, especially number 13, Dylan Mitchell. He's got what it takes to be able to get separation. He and Jalen Redd.
They'll rotate about 5 different tailbacks. Tony Brooks-James, the senior, gets the start, but Herbert looking to throw on first down. It's a low throw. Dylan Mitchell, their leading receiver from a year ago, went down low, and they pick up 8.
Yeah, and Stanford's up front, their front 7, what they've really been known for. This has now become a more experienced group from where they were the last couple years. They've got some people. Malik Antoine is in tonight for Ben Edwards. We'll keep an eye on that secondary. That'll be Talon.
There's a keeper from the quarterback. They haven't run him a lot this season, but you can see the speed you talked about in the open, and Herbert moves the 6 to the 40.
Yeah, they give a little counter action to the right and then come back with Herbert. And as you said, Chris, he can go at 6'6", 240. And again, I think that'll be a big part of their attack tonight.
You got 14 yards.
And they want to go tempo, but they also use that tempo to their advantage. That time with the clap, kind of a dead call there to try to see what Stanford might be in, see if they tip their hands.
Stacked receivers on both sides. They throw it into heavy traffic, and this is Jalen Redd, the speedy little guy at Rancho Cucamonga. He will stretch you horizontally and vertically with the strength of his arm.
That's exactly right. That's their plan. They use kind of a mix of what Baylor used to do, Oklahoma State, some of Chip Kelly. They spread you as far as they can with their formations, and of course with the arm strength of Justin Herbert.
Handed off. Brooks-James is hit hard and knocked down for a short loss. Flying in there was Elijah Holder off the corner.
Elijah Holder and Jordan Fox, who's And for Tuhill, the senior outside linebacker who is out for this game.
You like their depth. They're missing 2 defensive starters who are seniors in Tuhill and Edwards, but you don't think it's much of a drop-off?
No, I mean, those are great players, but I just think that there's enough veteran leadership on this defense that's been not necessarily there the last few years. This defense on paper, we'll find out tonight, but I think they're better than they've been in recent years because of that experience. So you lose a couple, and I think they're okay.
Bobbled snap on 3rd and 10. Herbert looks downfield and fires. Wide open. Dylan Mitchell weaving through the secondary. Still going down to the 7. And the Ducks sprinting down as they strike with a strong arm throw.
The safety this time, Malik Antoine, actually 3, sinks into the middle of the field, and Murphy, I think, was expecting help from behind, and he never got it.
53 yards, sets up for 1st and goal, and walking in, Tony Brooks James. Oregon strikes first. Backed up on 3rd and long. That huge pass play sets up an easy touchdown for Brooks James. 2:09. It took him to cover 82 yards. Adam Stat, who missed the first 3 games with injury, kind of muscles the conversion through. Wow, we're already seeing the skills of Herbert in the first drive.
How about that? 6 plays, 82 yards. Good job by Herbert here holding on to it. Had enough time to make that throw downfield. We told you Mitchell has the speed. And you know what? Oregon's coaches challenged this team to be more physical this year. Look at the left side of that offensive line. The tight end Jacob Breland blowing up the Stanford line up front, making it easy for
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Wells Fargo. Established 1852, re-established 2018. And in part by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
As Jordan Williamson, a field goal winner, that snapped Oregon's 13-game winning streak, spoiled their chances of getting to the BCS championship game. David Shaw's team has bullied the Ducks the last couple of years, 49-7 a year ago, but Oregon has struck first at home. Emerson to Scarlett, who will take a knee this time. Closer look at the dual passions of Bryce Love.
That is what I do, is play football. But I feel like just being able to contribute to the world and just being there to take care of others would be amazing. It's about you wanting to be the best for everybody around you.
Hopes to be a doctor someday, but after a long, productive career in the NFL, he could have gone, but we'll show you his quote and why he returned for this season. Can Love and Costello and the Cardinal answer? This Oregon crowd gaining belief quickly here. It's Bryce again. Tried to bounce it, now it cuts it back. It's a short gain, and Kirk, you know, you have a back gain 2,118 yards, Heisman runner-up. The foregone conclusion he's going to come out, but you can see Love is different in many ways.
Yeah, he says football is its happiness, my drive, but more than a game, I love the bonds that I've formed with my teammates, my brothers. It's what makes football so pure. And to me, this guy could be the face of the sport. He should be the face of the sport for what he does on the field and what he does off the field. I mean, he's a classic example of what everybody tries to achieve.
We talked about ways of getting the ball to him in space, getting away from that pit. And he lost it downfield, and going up to make the catch out of bounds is Colby Parkinson, one of those big tight ends. It's sometimes difficult to stop no matter how a DB plays that ball.
And you can see that he's putting it up in the air, where Parkinson at 6'7" can go up and make the play over Lenore. And he was out of bounds as he was running the route without being pushed, so he therefore is ineligible to be able to make the play.
Costello, 1 of 3, needs 9 on 3rd down. Love stays in the game. No pressure. And a throw down the seam, and a tough catch is made at midfield. That's another one of those big tight ends, Caden Smith.
Yeah, and he uses his body here. Nick Pickett is back here, the safety. He's going to try to make a play, but you see how it's tough to get to the football because of Caden Smith. It's 6'5", 252 pounds. And again, see where the ball's located? The location by Costello. He understands I've got an advantage with that big tight end. I'm going to put it up high. Nothing the safety Pickett could do about it.
Bryce Love is set out wide to the right. Scarlett is the back. Both quarterbacks have made big plays on 3rd and long already tonight. From the pocket, zip short. It's Smith again. Big fella out of Flower Mound, Texas.
They've had so many good tight ends over the years with Jim Harbaugh and now David Shaw. I mean, most of them are in the NFL.
You can see if you're a talented tight end in high school, you'd look at this program.
It's become tight end you. I mean, if you're playing high school football and you're a guy with that combination of size and some soft hands and you like to block and you're 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", I don't care where you, and by the way, you're doing well academically. I don't care where you are in the country. This is where you want to go play tight end.
2nd and 2. Love pursued in the backfield and knocked down for a loss. Kaulana Apelu came in there.
Apello, these linebackers are coming downhill in a hurry, and it's Jordan Scott again right here. He's able to get in the backfield, but watch the linebacker, Apello, 39, immediately get downhill to be able to take away Bryce Love. Take the angle away. Remember we talked about Bryce Love, his patience, his ability to accelerate. When a linebacker's coming at you like that, it's very tough to do.
Tough hitter, undersized at 5'10", but
man, he's fast.
A rugged Hawaiian.
208 pounds out there playing middle linebacker.
3rd and 4. They're crowding the line, showing pressure, and now back out. And Costello thought about scrambling, and now he'll be knocked down. A short loss. Ugo Amadi, the safety, stopped him. And here comes the punt team.
Amadi and also Apello gets in there as well. Costello does a good job of kind of sliding in the pocket. There's the safety that goes up in the air, but he doesn't give up on the play. Amadi eventually gets to him. Boy, you better keep an eye out for 39 Apello. He is flying right now on this Oregon defense.
He's one of my favorite players in this team. Such a tremendous leader. I think that defense, especially the second, it really orbits around Amadi. Bailey will try to pin him deep. Ugo is the punt returner. It's a very high kick, and he immediately signals for a fair catch and takes it at the 12-yard line. So Oregon's defense has had a couple of stops so far, sandwiched around a touchdown. A dynamic opening drive for Justin Herbert. He shows the skills. First the run here, and then the arm strength.
Yeah, the big arm, great throw downfield. He loves to take the vertical shots in the seams to Dylan Mitchell. And this is what I love. This Oregon team's been challenged by their coaches to be more physical. How about Jacob Breland at tight end? He'll take that challenge on, blows it up, and opens an easy running lane for Tony Brooks James.
There's a first down for Brooks James. When your head coach is a former offensive lineman, you know you're going to have a physical front, and they've remade this offensive line at Oregon. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact players.
Dylan Mitchell's already made plays. Tony Brooks James scores a touchdown. Sean Martin's going to have to make plays against the run. 27 and Alfieri 32. When they get a chance to rush the quarterback, you'll see him move around, blitz from the outside, and also twist him back into the inside. He's got to pressure Herbert when he can.
Alfieri coming off the left edge. He's now out in coverage as Herbert rolls, and he will keep and get knocked out of bounds. Joey Alfieri, a guy from Portland, who's very, very pumped up to play in this game. He grew up hating the Ducks because both his parents went to Oregon State, athletes there.
I read that story this week that he showed up at a game day with some buddies as an Oregon recruit. Got out there at 6 in the morning and ended up going to the game and saw Stanford actually play pretty well that night at Autzen and fell in love with the Cardinal that night.
That stings when you come to visit Oregon, end up a Stanford fan at the end of the night.
Right.
They need 3. And C.J. Verdell, number 34, their big physical back, is in there. But Herbert looking to throw for it. A dart, accurate throw, first down. Catch in traffic by Johnny Johnson, the sophomore.
Really tight coverage here. There's nowhere to necessarily go with the ball. But eventually he decides to squeeze it in and get that ball thrown out there. Outside linebacker Jordan Fox in pretty good position. But the velocity on that throw and the accuracy prevented Fox from making a play.
Throw on the money, but good concentration by Johnson because Fox made a swipe with his arm right as the ball was getting there. And they hand it off inside to C.J. Verdell. Such a different look to the backfield. Royce Freeman was a 4-year star here. He dominated. Now they got a whole bunch of guys rotating in.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see up to 5 guys possibly, depending on the situation. They kind of go with the hot hand. I love talking to Oregon. You know, we used to come in here every year with Chip Kelly and the speed, and they said, we're not going away from the speed, but Mario Cristobal says, we're going to become more physical. We want to be known as a physical team at the line of scrimmage. Free play.
Yep. Herbert takes a shot underneath. There's your guy Breland, the tight end, doing what he's best known for, catching passes out near midfield, so they'll decline the penalty.
I love how he's mixing up what you could call snap counts, but it's really his clap. Sometimes it's a freeze call.
Defense, number 51. That penalty decline. First down.
You know, it's a freeze call where he does kind of a dummy call with a clap, and he's, again, trying to get Stanford to tip their hand and show where that pressure might be coming from. Also get them to jump off sides, and what it does is it makes that Stanford front slow down a little bit and be a little cautious, which is exactly what his own offensive linemen want.
Man, Kirk, this offense is much crisper against better competition than they were the first 3 games. They have come out on fire. Herbert 5 for 5. They show pressure up the middle, handoff around the end, and busting free is Verdell. Another first down near the 41.
Real quick, watch the linebacker right here. Both these linebackers are concerned about 10 possibly running with the football. And when you're a threat, and he carried out his fake so well, it makes it so much easier for the back that time, Verdell, to pick up great yards.
They fake it to Verdell. Herbert rolling, wanted to look downfield, chased, and will be sacked way back at the 43 by Okereke.
We just showed Okereke going the wrong way just to be careful and make sure the quarterback, Herbert, was not running. This time, it's just a relentless attitude. Watch 20 in the middle, trying to diagnose, see what's happening, and now he's coming in. And the coverage downfield took away any of the threats. They want to go downfield vertically, and it's taken away by the safeties, and that gives Okereke a chance to get in there. But great effort not giving up on that play. Huge loss, by the way. Herbert's got to throw that one away.
13-yard loss. He's so savvy, so tough to fool Okereke, and Cristobal knew controlling him was going to be the key to beating the Stanford defense. 2nd and 23, and the Cardinal pressure again. It's a screen dumped off to Verdell, who's able to dive back to the 45-yard line. Still going to be 3rd and very long.
Well, with his arm strength and with the plays, the way they like to get the ball downfield, they use those formations where you stretch the Stanford defense from sideline to sideline, and what it does is it creates a lot of vertical seams, and that's probably the best ball that he throws is a vertical seam.
He's made some breathtaking throws the first 3 games this season. Needs a big play here on 3rd and 14. And the shot down the seam, right on cue, and a first down in the red zone. Man, that is just a frozen rope.
Frozen rope, 2 high safeties, so you know that the weakness of the defense is right in the middle. It's exactly what he sees. Nice time. It allows him to throw in rhythm, because this takes a while to be able to allow your receiver, Mitchell, to get downfield that long. But Stanford opened up the middle of the field, and Herbert recognizes it, had the time from the offensive line, and makes the throw.
3rd and long, no problem. They got 28 and 3rd and 14.
With his arm strength, if you protect him, he's going to make the throw.
He still got it on the keeper. And he'll just slide down after a nice game. That's what they want him to do. He's a monster. He can deliver a shot, but you got to protect him. There's really no depth behind him at all.
No, not at all. And I mean, right now, this Stanford defense, it's very talented. They don't know if it's coming or going. They don't know if it's quarterback keep. Is he handing it off? Is it play action? And they're throwing it downfield. Their heads are spinning after this first quarter.
Yeah, the Ducks have 159 yards threatening. 7-zip at the end of one. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
The massive 82-inch Samsung QLED TV. You can't look away.
A nearly flawless first quarter by Justin Herbert, and the Ducks are threatening as we begin the second period. 2nd and 3. Verdell is the back. They fake it to him. Herbert keeps again and gets near first down yardage at the 8. You've seen him an efficient runner, a 7 for 7 throwing in the first quarter.
That's a pretty good start. You know, Sean Barton, the middle linebacker who's coming off a knee injury, he reads it well. But because of his size at 6'6", 240, Barton can't prevent him from picking up the first down. So he just kind of extends himself across that first down marker. So Barton did his job. Now you got to make a tackle on a dude that's 6'6", 240.
He got in that beautiful weight room and added 20 pounds in 8 months, did Herbert. Bust quick hitter to Verdell, not much room there. Now, he missed the key part of the schedule last year. He broke his collarbone against Cal and wasn't in there for a lot of it. And so you keep in mind that 1-4 record with Braxton Burmeister was thrown basically as a third stringer. But look at the production with him through 11 games.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that right now maybe are watching 10 for the first time. But look what he did last year. 50 points a game when he was playing. Now he just looks even more impressive this year. And it's early in the year and early in this game, but so much more command to this offense.
Cardinal crowding the line. They tried to draw the Ducks O-line into a mistake.
And see now, that delay call, that dummy call.
You got to hurry.
Now he looks over. Yeah, Mario Cristobal is going to call the timeout. But ideally, he's able to look over and you see where that blitz is coming from, and then you get the right check. It becomes a little bit of a cat and mouse game.
The Ducks will talk about it, threatening to add to a 7-0 lead.
I still got to pinch myself because just a couple years ago I was in the stands watching. Think about those 4 seats up there in Section 12, all the games. Came here with my family. Just thankful and glad to be practicing out on that field, and thankful for all the memories I've made with the teammates.
Think about living his dream. He was a 3-sport athlete at Sheldon High School here in Eugene, but not heavily recruited. Montana State, Nevada, those were the schools coming after him before Oregon said, you know what, we'll give you a chance.
Give you a shot.
Yeah.
We'll give you a shot. I think it's worked out well for both he and Oregon. Section 12 right across from us. Parents hooked him up, about 40-yard line seats growing up here in Eugene.
Not bad. Football was important. I mean, his grandpa was a receiver here in the 60s. 2nd and goal after the timeout. Verdell is still in the backfield. Herbert looking left, buying time, flips it high and incomplete over the hands of Verdell.
Flag down in the end zone. Tell you, that offensive line is keeping Stanford away from Justin Herbert. Hadn't even been close other than that coverage sack.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was touched behind the line of scrimmage.
Again, you got the true freshman left tackle, Panay Sewell, the steady hand next to him, Shane Lemieux. Jake Hansen, the fine center. Dallas Warmack, Chance's younger brother. Played at Alabama.
There's
transferred in.
Playing very well so far. Big third down here for both teams.
It sure is. Pistol formation. This is one of the new wrinkles this year. And now, once again, a timeout is taken. Mario Cristobal was 5 yards on the field. Again, some frustration. They'll spend another timeout, but he knows this is a crucial series.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Mario Cristobal, offensive lineman, Jimmy Johnson, Miami era team. He was just mauling people. And I covered the Keens a lot in those years. They always sent Cristobal out there because he was a cerebral guy, but on the field, he was a mauler. Look at this next block. We're talking about dominating a D lineman. Turning just 72, just mauling him right there. He closed out his career, the Miami team that was shocked by Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Dabo Swinney was the receiver in that Crimson Tide team. Was at Rutgers for a while, was at Miami. FIU head coach, didn't work out great. Then some crucial years studying what Nick Saban does at Alabama.
And he really talked to us openly about what he learned his time there in Tuscaloosa and what he's brought here to Eugene, whether it's the recruiting or
first thing, get great players.
Well, yeah, and they are. They're ranked as high as you can hope for in recruiting right now. So he's getting great players. Need about 8 or 9 or 10 classes in a row to get where Alabama is.
That's the Tide formula, right?
Yeah, that and the development and the strength coach.
Let's see, after this cat and mouse game, as you correctly called it, the Ducks got here on 3rd and goal. They've spread the field with 4 receivers. Verdell is in the pistol. Red comes in motion. Herbert fires. Touchdown! Going down low was Breeland, the tight end.
Just nothing that Alameen Murphy can do. He's in coverage. The timing between Herbert and his tight end Breeland, just perfect. And the ball is thrown down low and away from the defender.
Stanford allowed 2 touchdowns combined in their first 3 games. Ducks got 2 in the first 17 minutes. And sliding the extra point through is Adam Stack. So he blocked, set up the first touchdown, catches the second one, your guy, Breeland.
Yeah, Breeland's having a great night, but the guy who's really having a huge night is Justin Herbert. See, that ball is thrown before Breeland even turns to make the look for the football. The Ducks off to a great start.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs. And Coke Zero.
Game 5 years ago was a top 5 matchup. Oregon fell behind 26-0 and tried to rally but fell short. Hope the Ducks in shape. Puddles is getting a workout over here. This is, you said it, Kirk, this kind of feels like an old-time Oregon, different looking offense. But
yeah, I'm talking about how explosive they are and how you come here to Autzen Stadium. It was a dangerous thing to have to deal with. Stanford needs an answer.
Well, they tried to put Bryce Love back at kickoff to spark things, and Oregon spotted that. Emerson kicked away from him. So Darian Maddox makes a nice return, and here's how they've smothered Love as a running back.
These linebackers are doing a great job of coming downhill. Troy Dye, Appello, a really good job here. But look at the defensive line consuming the linemen, not letting them get up. And look at that closing speed by Appello. This is going to continue. What I've been impressed with here in the early going is Stanford, you think the defenses have to get the safeties involved, get 8 or 9 guys up close and stop that big line and Bryce Love. So far, Oregon hasn't had to do that. The D-line's doing their job, eating up those blocks. The linebackers are flying downhill. I think Stanford's going to have to start to throw more to set up their running game. It's been tough up front.
They haven't looked for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Their fine receiver has been so tough to stop this season. They haven't targeted him yet. And this is Love into heavy traffic, and the Ducks will swim him for another loss.
And that's a wall. You're running into a wall there. You want to talk about setting an edge? Watch Jelks right here set the edge. It's a good job by Jalen Jelks taking on that big lineman and holding his spot, forcing Bryce Love to come back underneath. And now you've got another 3 or 4 green jerseys there able to chase him down for a short gain, or actually a loss.
15 times this season already, Love has been trapped behind the line or held to no gain. That's a huge departure from the success last season. Costello. When in doubt, go to the tight end. That's Caden Smith, and the big fella out near midfield. It's a first down. Third catch already.
I'm with you. It's like a security blanket. Where's 82? Where is he? He's just going to go. Look, nobody's stopping him at the line of scrimmage. Costello almost started to bail because of the pressure, but eventually he gets it off. And I love to see a tight end work after the catch. And that's exactly what Smith at 6'5", 252 does.
40-pound mismatch against that linebacker who was trying to cover him. And so Tia, it's a tough assignment to deal with these tight ends. Love. Again, penetration, and he'll be dropped right at the line of scrimmage to Maria Taylor.
Well, Chris and Kirk, you're mentioning it. KJ Costello on the sideline, he talked to Caden Smith and Colby Parkinson saying, I should trust you guys a little bit more. Get the ball out, get it to you, allow you to make the play. So he wants to get it to 6'5" and 6'4" at this point in the game.
Yeah, Maria, I really think, I said it at the beginning of the drive, with the way this defense is playing, the field is still tilted in favor of the Ducks and playing in Autzen. I think the passing game is going to have to provide a spark here. It's tough to run into the teeth of that defense.
And Arcega-Whiteside, the receiver, not in the game on 2nd and 10. They flip it to Osiris St. Brown, and he is hammered right at the line there by Thomas Graham. Bucks are saying, get the football.
Well, what Thomas Graham does is he gets off of the block. Ball is thrown quickly. And the job that he does there, getting off of Michael Wilson, who's a true freshman. Look at Michael Wilson trying to make a block. Graham just sheds him and then is able to make that play.
Stanford facing 3rd and 10. Already some urgency here. Their defense has not stopped the Ducks. And they're about to give the football back to Oregon unless they can pick up 10 here. Dorian Maddox now takes a turn. Junior from Maryland is the back. Costello steps up, delivers down the field, and the catch is made by Arcega-Whiteside. Finally, they involve their best receiver, and it's a huge conversion inside the 10.
Yeah, and he gets one-on-one matchup, so you're going to see the tight end occupy the safety, and that opens up the big receiver, Arcega-Whiteside, one-on-one. That's a matchup he'll take every time against Lenore. Remember, he's 5'11", and he puts it right on the money there for him to catch it in stride and pick up more yards.
Arcega-Whiteside, talented basketball player, huge, very strong hands. They get 40 yards on 3rd and 10. Much needed spark for this offense. Love in the I formation. Gets it. Heavy traffic, trapped behind the line again. Justin Hollins came around the edge.
Just too slow developing. I mean, it's taking forever, and with the speed of this defense, it's hard to execute. You're trying to run this play to the right, and you got Justin Hollins chasing this play down from behind, and Justin Hollins is waiting for the lineman to pull before he can just kind of push them aside and make the tackle from behind.
Get to the part of the field, Kirk, they'll throw these fades now. You got 3 tight ends in the game. Arcega-Whiteside is split to the left. Costello looking for the end zone. There it is. That typical Stanford play. You know it's coming. You can't stop it. Arcega-Whiteside wins the jump ball.
It's a one-on-one matchup. Either Arcega-Whiteside's going to get it or Parkinson, who's both lined up to the left. Who are they going to go to? They're going to put it up in the air. This is their offense. They're either going to
box out there. I love that.
Or use your body and let the big fella go up and get a rebound. That's exactly what he did.
The dude, both his parents were very, very good basketball players. So was he. He thought he was going to play hoops in college, and all those skills just translate.
Well, honestly, it looked like a rebound.
Yeah.
He used his body, got in position, went up, made a play.
Tell me how to defend that. They're still going to find out.
Well, Thomas Graham's 5'11". He's going to be tough.
Cassidy Hubbard with your DirecTV More for your college football thing. Number 9, Auburn, off to a slow start versus Arkansas. And Jarrett Stidham gets this 4-yard TD in a hurry. Tigers up 17-0. This one over on the SEC Network. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Cassidy thanks Hogs struggling. So Stanford, that 40-yard completion to Arcega-Whiteside on 3rd and 10 set him up, and then Big JJ wins the jump ball battle in the end zone. Costello in the drive, Kirk, 4 for 4, 66 yards. Bailey's got a strong leg. We're not going to see many kickoff returns tonight. You can forget about that. Booms it out of the end zone.
This is going to be the challenge for the Oregon defense tonight, is dealing with the size and the strength, and just the strength in his hands of Arcega-Whiteside. Remember, 6'3", 225 pounds. He's not 6'3", 180, 225.
No, his mom played for Appalachian State. Carol Valerie is the all-time leading scorer, still is, in the Southern Conference. She was a low post player. Joaquin comes from Spain. He was kind of a slasher, a 2-guard. He had 2 uncles that represented Spain in the Olympics in basketball. So he thought it was hoops first, but then he started to get noticed by football.
That hoops background is working out for him in those jump balls. He looks very comfortable timing it up and going up.
Man, they practice it, as you know, incredibly diligently every day. So Herbert, who's got the hot hand, flips it far side. Dylan Mitchell. This dude continues to just be incredibly accurate.
Herbert's a great quarterback to begin with, but if you don't do something to affect his rhythm, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, it's a 7-on-7 drill. And right now, Stanford's not doing a lot to affect him.
What should Lance Anderson, who calls the defense, do?
I mean, he's going to try to do what he can to mix up the looks, but this offense right now is clicking because of what their plan is to stretch you vertically with the shots. Big offensive line that clearly is more physical for Mario Cristobal. Quarterback that's in command. I mean, they're one step ahead of your pressure. They're one step ahead of whatever you think you need to do to mix it up, because they have a quarterback right now that's just seeing the field and making quick decisions.
Herbert 9 of 10. Looking to throw again, has time, and delivers underneath to Mitchell again. He's about a half-yard short.
He's short, but it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds back in that backfield where he's not getting anybody in his face. It allows him to work through his progressions. Primary finds the second, third option, and eventually had to kind of check that one down just short of the first down marker.
Verdell stays in. Effective short yardage back. And they hand it to him as a flag. Verdell was stacked up. I think they're going to spot it for first down yardage, but a marker down on the near side. Mike McCabe in charge of this Pac-12 crew. They're looking to see if it was a first down.
I didn't see any movement. Stanford may have lined up offsides.
Offside defense, number 10. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
It's Jordan Fox, the linebacker, so they will take the penalty and move into Cardinal territory with the first down.
He's down at the bottom, and remember, he's in it tonight for Hill. He's just lined up across the line of scrimmage.
Verdell has a crease. C.J. Verdell headed to the house. Stucks score for a third time. That old offensive lineman head coach is pumped up.
I was going to say Mario Cristobal is an offensive line guy. He gets more fired up when a play like that opens up than when his quarterback flips 150 yards for a touchdown. His two guards that time, Shane Lemieux and Dallas Warmack, perfection on pulling around to open that hole up for Verdell.
48 yards for the guy that's considered the more physical back, but he shows the Jets, and the Cardinal defense is just getting gashed.
Watch the two guards pull around. Great blocks. And then a poor angle by Buncombe. And there's the speed by Verdell. Those linemen, look at them. They were challenged by their coaches this offseason. We've got to be more physical. And tonight against Stanford, we're going to find out if you can.
Euphoria in Eugene for the moment. You cannot be more impressive on offense than Oregon has been so far. Drives of 82, 88, and 75 yards, averaging 10 yards a play against a defense that was very stout the first 3 games. Scarlett knocked down at the 15, and the special teams also playing well for Oregon. To Cassidy for an update.
Chris, Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Number 5 Oklahoma in a battle with Army. Andy Davidson with a 3-yard fullback dive. The Knights are all tied up in Norman, 21-all late in the third. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Well. So difficult to play mid-season to prepare for that attack, and the Sooners obviously not fully engaged yet.
Let me tell you something. If Old Dominion can beat Virginia Tech after losing to Liberty 52-7 or wherever it was early in the year, I think anything is possible in college football.
Sad news that Josh Jackson appeared to be seriously injured in that game for the Hokies as well. Love gets around right end, but yardage has been hard to find. He's out across the 20. That's a good first down gain. Chris Felica, the Bear, was up early this morning. I don't know how he handled the 4 a.m. wake-up call, but he's got the Affleck trivia question.
Affleck! 3:45 to be exact with you there, Chris. But David Shaw, the winningest Stanford coach in school history with 76 wins, who is second on that list?
I'm going to buzz in for this one. I might be 2 for 2. I'm going to say Pop Warner. I think he broke Pop Warner's record for it. Became the all-time winningest coach. You got to go back a few years for that. Love into traffic. It'll set up 3rd and 3. How'd I do, Bear? Right, back-to-back weeks.
You have correctly answered tonight's Aflac trivia question. Pop Warner, 71 wins in his great coaching career. Coming at Stanford, you're right. Going way back, you're in history. You're a student of the game, so I would expect you to get that.
Now Bear's going to raise the bar next week. He's going back to '06.
I knew.
No idea.
I just beat you on the buzzer.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You did. That was. I think you might have used that as a $100 question back in the old game day days.
See what Shaw can do. They need 2 yards here to keep the drive going. Costello trying to get the tight end. Smith shifted around. And from the pocket has to backpedal. Ball batted up in the air and falls to the turf. Ugo Amadi came on the blitz, so the Ducks force another punt.
He gets really right into the face of Bryce Love, who's trying to pick him up on a delayed blitz. And he's not the tallest safety you're going to see. They list him at 5'10", but look at him at the bottom, number 7. Gets right at Bryce Love. He's not going to be able to get in there. Costello kind of like a sidearm delivery, which allows him to go up, and he got right into the face and knocks that ball away. Good play again by the leader of this defense.
Yeah, he's a guy that's got 6 career interceptions. He's scored defensive touchdowns. Very comfortable with the ball in his hand, which is why they have him back on the punt return team. But that's a bomb. Jake Bailey is one of the best just long distance punters in the world, and he knocks that ball way down inside the 20-yard line. 56-yard punt. NFL Week 3 kicks off tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN with Sunday NFL Countdown. All the stuff you need to know right after the kickoff. Patrick Mahomes' journey from White House, Texas, is taking the league by storm at the moment. 10 touchdowns in the first couple of games for Mahomes. Fast start for this guy. And you showed the Mel Kiper board of draft-eligible quarterbacks. Herbert is a junior, hasn't played a whole lot of football, but you can see why he's at the top of the list, and the whole world can see that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that have not seen him play are sitting back and really have to be impressed with his performance.
How can you not be? Brooks James picks his way and almost breaks a tackle for a huge gain. Tackle at the 28.
But see, this is what makes this offense so dynamic. Is it's not just Herbert and all these wide receivers. They still are reminding this front from Stanford that they better respect the running game, as we saw in the previous drive where they ripped a big gain for a touchdown. So when you have to respect that part of this offense, it just opens up everything else on the outside for Herbert to throw the ball.
You go pressure off the edge. That was an adjustment from the defense, Kirk, and Herbert has to eat it and take a short loss.
He saw the blitz. He recognized it. Alfieri is able to come in and finally get to him. But what prevented him from throwing, because he saw it, he wanted to go to a quick side adjust, but give credit to Stanford. Malik Antoine came down quickly and took away his potential receiver.
Now he's been lethal on the third down so far. They're 4 of 4. He's had 3 first down completions. They need 3.5 yards here. And for the third time, Cristobal will spend a timeout with the play clock winding down. Inside of 5 minutes to halftime, the Ducks try to keep the drive going and add to their lead.
I think that I should want.
Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty.
Actually, it's center.
First penalty for Oregon.
Center, the ball actually moved a bit. None of the Stanford guys jumped.
Let's see if that's the break this Cardinal defense needs. They have not been able to get Oregon off the field.
They better get pressure on 10 or they're not going to get off the field here.
Not showing blitz. Now they bring a fifth rusher, but plenty of time for Herbert. Accurate throw. Dylan Mitchell, first down. They didn't get near him.
No, not only did they not get near him, the receivers are able to come off the line of scrimmage freely. Look to the far right, 13. Dylan Mitchell, nobody challenges him, and he just works to the spot, the first down marker, turns around. Pretty easy. Boom. Gets a seed thrown right to his jaw. Makes a play.
Mitchell limped off. He's got 6 catches tonight for
Pretty
126.
Nice. When you're receiving, you turn and the ball hits you right in the forehead. That's fun.
Play action on first down. Jalen Red knocked down hard. 3-yard game. Alameen Murphy stopped him. And looking at Mitchell over there. Targeted 6 times, and he's made catch all 6 times.
This was on that first down play. A lot of bodies colliding there. Hopefully he'll be okay and get back in that lineup for Oregon. As you said, Chris, big night so far for him.
It's a receiving corps plagued by drops last year and also in the first 3 games, but not tonight. Oh, all kinds of room for Herbert to scramble. Makes a cut. Still rumbling. Look at the big fella. The wheels down inside the 30. Got a nice block from the receiver Johnson, too.
Again, you can't lose contain. Alfieri does. Outside pressure. He moves to the inside and frees up the outside. Picked up nicely. Look at the recognition right away. Alfieri moved to the inside. Left tackle Sewell just pushes him in there. And what I love about the quarterback, Herbert, he doesn't hesitate. Immediately saw that running lane. He's not looking to run out of bounds. He's picking up yards.
Handoff up the middle. Even when you make the play fake to the wrong side as he did, you still end up making a huge gain. Right. You turn the handoff to the right, and Brooks James had come to the left, and then, oh well.
With those long strides, he just covers a lot of ground. Like a lot of quarterbacks, makes a mistake there. That's okay. It could have been the back making a mistake.
I like the cut here. Look at this cut.
That's what I'm saying. Typically, you see a guy go down, he slides, he goes out of bounds. No, he's looking for big yards.
Verdell to the right, busts loose into the secondary again. His Oregon power running game starting to flex.
You watch Stanford and Oregon play, you think it's going to be Stanford controlling the line of scrimmage and moving people off the ball. This first half, it's been all Oregon. Not just Herbert, not just the skill, but we have to continue to give the 5 guys up front a lot of love. They're pushing Stanford around at the line of scrimmage.
Quarterback keeper again, makes a little cut and slide down. That time they held their edge and didn't let Herbert get around the corner.
Yeah, the true freshman Thomas Booker's in there and does a good job of not letting Herbert get to the outside. I think they were just trying to catch him off guard, not maybe expecting 10 to keep it on that zone read look.
So 2:03 before halftime. The Ducks trying to make it 4 scores in 4 possessions. Monday Night Football matchup has been Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers in Tampa. 2-0 Buccaneers. 8:15 on ESPN, also simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish. Make of the Buccaneers with bearded Ryan Fitzpatrick off to a pretty good start. 78% completion through 2 games. Herbert's completion percentage, he's 12 of 13 for 170. You've seen him effectively run the ball a few times tonight.
Already 312 yards of total offense, and they're mixing it up. 19 runs, 13 passes. And that combination is what has Stanford really struggling right now.
It's an experienced veteran Stanford defense. They have not often been toyed with like this in their careers. Verdell hit hard. That time they rally to the football and meet him right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that time they walk down their safeties. You see 5 right here and 3. You've got safeties coming way down to assist those linebackers. They just outnumbered them. That's one way not to let Oregon blow you off the ball, is to put 9 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Kariki got there in a hurry. You know, it's a veteran team. I don't think Stanford, in my mind, is a terribly emotional team, and they have just not been able to match the energy at all of Oregon or cope with this energized environment. They're sort of stuck in second gear here.
Yeah, when you come into Autzen Stadium, you think about when the heyday of Chip Kelly and Marcus Mariota, when they were really rolling. You know, since 2015, after they got to the national championship, it's been a tough stretch. Of Pac-12 games, they're 13-14 since 2015. They've lost 6 home games in that stretch. That's as many as in the previous 8 years combined. So this has not been the intimidating environment that it used to be. Tonight, they're trying to start a new era.
Yeah, that's why this is such a key game. They want to show their back. 3rd and 11. Can they keep the hot hand going on 3rd down? The snap is rolled back, and Herbert just has to fall down. That time, Jake Hansen didn't really give the quarterback a chance. Stanford finally gets a stop on 3rd down.
They get a stop, and they use a second timeout. It's one of I think the only mistake I can recall Oregon making. Hansen rolls the ball back there. I don't know if the ball slipped or he got confused with thinking the quarterback's under center, which we haven't seen all night. But the ball rolls back. He's lucky that Herbert's able to hold on to that ball.
Now, Oregon is using Adam Stack as their field goal kicker. He was their punter a year ago, but he has never in his college career attempted a kick of any time. No field goals, PATs until tonight. 3 for 3 PATs, so it's his first career field goal attempt. Out the first few games, injured. This from 38 yards. And looks like he's been doing his whole life. Knocks it right through. So Oregon finally kept out of the end zone, but the lead is 17 with halftime approaching. And Love, chance to make a play on special teams. Hold your breath when number 20's got the football. Gets out across the 35. This season, Taco Bell celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding Best Student Section of the Year. The Ducks on the national watch list here. ESPN.com/Taco Bell. See how your school competes. Finally getting back to school here. Both these schools are on the quarter system, so the first day of classes Monday, both at Stanford and Oregon. And it makes a difference to have all the students in the stands, too.
Stanford out of timeouts. They used them as Oregon's in their last drive on defense.
Love stays in pass protection, and Trenton Irwin, the big, tall receiver, makes his first catch of the night. They'll have to move quickly here. Not known for their tempo, but as you said, burning those timeouts, choosing to spend that on defense.
Arcega-Whiteside, the big tight ends, got to find matchups.
Costello zips it across the middle. It's in the middle of the field, so a first down. The clock will stop momentarily. Smith, another catch.
Yeah, nice job getting the ball to Caden Smith, who's defended there by Troy Dye.
He's been the top target so far. 4 catches for the junior from Texas.
2 deep safeties. Hard to get the ball thrown downfield.
Ducks rush 4. Costello has time, but nobody open, and the ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. They've done that a couple of times. Even though JJ's 6'5". They're getting their hands up in his face.
Yeah, and he didn't have anybody open. He starts to panic. He steps up in the pocket, which you want to do. Then he starts to think about Bryce Love, and he's nobody open downfield. Everybody covered. And again, Oregon, nice job of getting their hands up. It was the big fella, Jordan Scott. With those two high safeties, middle of the field behind the linebackers could be an area he tries to get the ball thrown to.
Delayed handoff, and Love is hit hard, and he's going to bounce right near the marker. How about a spot a little short inside of a minute?
It's an idea how physical he can be as a runner. He got hit and then somehow came out of the end of that pile for another 4 yards.
Added 10, 12 pounds of muscle in the offseason, told me to his lower body. You saw the strength that time. 3rd and 1. Love, another delayed handoff. He'll barrel forward and dive for a first down. The clock will stop momentarily.
The clock stops, 37 seconds. This is where the experience of Costello got to come in. There's got to be urgency here. Obviously, without the timeouts, can't afford to take a sack. Getting first downs and out of bounds is all Costello is thinking about, along with incompletions to stop the clock.
Getting points, Kirk, feels important because the Ducks are going to get the ball to start the second half. Costello pressured in. Ball is loose. And it'll be jumped on way back at the 45. But again, no timeouts. The clock ticking down. Justin Hollins with the strip sack. And that should do it for the half.
And he goes right around Walker Little. Costello had no idea that he's able to come around. Just beats him. He gets that left hand up and smacks it down. And they come up with a big sack. And as you said, there is no time left because they're out of timeouts. Great effort there by Justin Hollins, the senior.
What a performance from the Ducks. We said there's mystery in this crisp air here. Is Oregon back as a contender? After 30 minutes, they sure look like it. They have
pointed to the fact that Justin Herbert took a sack in one play and then came right back and made that huge completion to Mitchell, and that we've just kind of seen him be courageous and fight through everything. Now, he did say going into the locker room, now it's 0-0. We have to maintain physicality against this Stanford team if we want to continue to hold on to this lead at home.
Good stuff. Maria Cristobal told us one of the things he learned from Saban, you have to attack aggressively these big games. You can't play cautious, can't play not to lose. And they have been attacking aggressively downfield as Mitchell, who's back in the game, makes a 7th catch tonight.
Well, this takes the arm strength. Watch him get this ball over top of the safety right there, Malik Antoine. And now you've got another safety, Buckham, coming downhill. You better throw that on a line, which is exactly what he did there.
21 yards. Bang straight ahead for a short game. You said they haven't been able to affect him. What could Lance Anderson do? What's a potential idea to get in Herbert's head?
Well, you've got to commit some numbers. You've got to try to blitz him. You've got to try to come after him. The problem is you're taking a chance. It's a little bit out of your comfort zone. It's not necessarily who you are or what you do, but you've got to do something to try to shake him up with some blitzing. And here comes a blitz right now, it looks like. Now they're backing out of it.
Play action. Herbert rolls, looks short, now fires another dart across the middle. That's Jalen Red going down low. First down.
You know, for a group of receivers, when you talk to the coaches, then nobody's really become the guy. It's a big group of wide receivers. But I think tonight we're seeing this wide receiving core just as an entire group with Mitchell and Red and Johnson. They've got some talent on the edge.
Burdell, short gain. It's a bunch of receivers that are not natural pass catchers. They're thin, so they move guys from different positions, guys who played different positions in high school, and Herbert's just found all of them.
Yeah, it's unacceptable to the short throw to the left there. He missed one there. Got to get that fixed. But the rest of it, pretty much like a 7-on-7 drill.
You know, teammates and coaches, they call him Herbie. And I said, no, wait. There's only one Herbie in college football. Only one. But here, he's the dude. He's Herbie and Eugene.
I bow down to him.
Okay.
Here, yeah, absolutely. You okay with that? You okay with that?
2nd and 7. He's just doing whatever he wants. Burdell around right hand. Look at him lower. Physical sounding collision there. Dabo got him a yard short of the marker.
Following those guards around, and right there, big collision with a Debo, the corner, who came up to make that stop. Give him credit. He kept him from getting that first down, but that was a major collision.
Now it's a 3rd and comfortable 1 yard. Verdell, he's been the busiest back tonight, and he powers for first down yardage.
The surge at the line of scrimmage is remarkable. I mean, it's just remarkable. I'm just not used to watching Oregon and Stanford and watching the green and the gold pushing back the Stanford offensive line and defensive line.
No, it's the Cristobal stamp on this program in his first year as head coach. And you're not used to seeing 330-pounders up there. They used to have lighter, more mobile offensive linemen. So a total change in philosophy. And he's going to continue to, I think, be able to pull in some of the top O-line recruits in the country. When the O-line coach is a head coach, it speaks to those big fellas. We're working on Brooks James there. Verdell can be dragged down right at the line of scrimmage there.
Wade Perry with a nice play. We haven't called his name very much tonight. 24 in there for Michael Williams. The sophomore does a nice job using his good size, 316 pounds, and some quick feet.
It's a front that are not really gap pluggers. You don't have the Harrison Phillips, the monster nose guard of the year. They're kind of penetrators, a different kind of defensive lineman. They have not invaded the backfield tonight. Verdell again. That time they fly off the edge. There's one answer. Bring the corner, and the ball is out. Looks like Dylan Jackson has the takeaway for the Cardinal.
Oh, we just talked about, you asked me, what can you do? And I said, you got to bring some pressure. You got to pick your spots and bring pressure. And Adebo is exactly what he's able to do there. Into the boundary, the corner blitz. And Verdell is a young player. I don't know if the contact of the hit knocked that ball out. Yeah, he put his head, actually held on to it. It's when he started to go down, the ball came out. Dylan Jackson jumps on top of it.
Desperately needed takeaway by this Cardinal defense that has not been able to stop. Ruling a fumble being reviewed. Watch the left knee of Verdell. Hits the ground right there. Just grazes the ground before the hit and before the ball comes out. So that's what David Lambros, the replay official in the Pac-12, is taking a look at right now.
You don't understand what's going on here. Is Stanford's offense is out there. They're just waiting for the TV timeout to be over. There's about to be chaos in this stadium because everyone's wondering why the ball isn't being snapped. Stanford's offense is out there. Oregon's defense. Now the coaches just got wind from probably upstairs. They're going crazy saying, hey, we got a chance here. He was down. He was down. So they're going to get the ball back. This stadium's about to erupt because they have no idea.
Well, it was clear the ball was out before his backside hit the turf, but his knee going down, if they judge it that way, will kill the play.
Absolutely.
Before the fumble.
Yep.
And that would put Oregon back in business. Be 3rd and long if they do get the football back. But that hasn't been a problem. There's the strength coach, the mustachioed man, the high energy one, and kind of the Scott Cochran mold. He was at Georgia first when Mark Richt was there.
I'm telling you right now, man, Aaron Feld is changing along with Mario Cristobal and the staff. He's the strength coach. Talk about bringing the blueprint. You bring the recruits in, and you turn them over to the strength coach.
After review, determined that the runner's left knee was down prior to the ball coming loose. The ball will be revert back to Stanford. It'll be 3rd down.
He means Oregon, but that's the replay review. So the Oregon offense knew that was going to be the case. They were out there ready to go.
And now you've got a quarterback who seems to be more in a comfort zone on 3rd down than he is on 1st and 2nd. They're 6 of 7 converting on 3rd down. And you better come after him because if he sets his feet, he's going to throw an accurate ball. And he's probably going to pick up the 1st down.
It's Travis Dye, the true freshman tailback. The first time we've seen him in there in the pistol. And Stanford is showing pressure.
They're showing those linebackers.
You got a true freshman in pass protection. And he is flushed and sacked. That's a problem. You put Dye in there, Kirk, for the first time tonight, and he did not make the block on Alfieri.
And Jordan Fox came in from behind. You had a good job. They're showing both linebackers. They end up dropping here, bringing pressure here, and that's where the sack comes from the outside with Jordan Fox. Good job at taking up those linemen and the speed of Fox getting around the true freshman left tackle Sewell. So Stanford, they don't get the turnover. But on third down, they come up with one of the first times we've seen Herbert under pressure, so they will get the ball back.
That is tough. We talked about the rotation of backs. You put a true freshman out there, really hadn't seen action, and now he's got to block an excellent pass rusher. And the chaos was evident there.
Also takes him out of field goal range.
Yep. So Tom Snee, he's one of the 2 punters they have. He's an Aussie, and he's like a rugby punt guy, and he does his job. A man from the Melbourne area pins the Cardinal back at the 5-yard line. You know I love an Aussie punter.
Love it.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo on ABC, is brought to you by Mazda. Feel alive. Goodyear, hard-working tires that deliver blimp-worthy performance. And Wendy's. Download Wendy's app now for a free Dave single with any purchase every day this month.
Well, Kirk, you go from an energized atmosphere in Eugene to Happy Valley. College game day built by the Home Depot will be there to set up the Ohio State-Penn State collision, a top 10 matchup. And then we'll have it for you in prime time, presented by Wells Fargo. Ohio State hammering Tulane. Penn State at 35 in the 4th quarter last night on the road at Illinois to bust open a close game. So Stanford finally gets the stop, but they're pinned back at the 6. When will Bryce Love get loose? And not on this play, as a flag and a false start on the left side of the offensive line.
Walker Little, the left tackle, jumped early.
False start. Offense, number 72. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
He's the young guy in a very veteran offensive line. Students are right down there in this corner. They are making a whole lot of noise. This is a celebratory atmosphere right now.
I was going to say, this is the loudest part of the stadium where they happen to be snapping the football.
Cristobal wanted them to break the all-time Autzen Stadium decibel record, which was 127 11 years ago. We'll have Maria check on that. Love, 3 yards deep in the end zone, works hard and is still working hard. Look at him fight for yardage out across the 10. Very interesting overtime development. To Cassidy Hubbard for an update.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Wild one in Norman. Oklahoma and Army in OT after the Sooners missed a 33-yard field goal. So Kyler Murray on the field will find CeeDee Lamb for the touchdown to put Oklahoma up 28-21. But Army now with the ball and with a shot in OT. Back to you guys.
What a battle. And Lincoln Riley thinking, please, can we just get out of here with a W? See the defensive lineman down on the field as we check the AP rankings. Brought to you by PlayStation.
Well, Alabama again, impressive. Georgia on the road, got some help from the defense and special teams.
You know, top 10 teams on the road. That was the theme. How would they handle it? And right now, Stanford not well. Justin Folio helped off in that Oregon defensive line. It's loud again on 2nd and 5. Love trying to bounce it, cuts it back. Every yard is hard earned tonight. He's going to be stopped just short of the marker there by Nick Pickett.
Well, these guys are moving so quickly downhill, the linebackers, that Bryce Love's trying to work that against him, cutting against the grain, making them overcommit, and then cutting back against where they're headed. And as you said, I mean, all that work, and he picks up 3 or 4 yards.
Need to pick up 1 here. Move the sticks. Threatening 100 DB at the moment.
Confusion on the Stanford sideline. The offensive line looking to the sideline saying, we need to play, we need personnel.
Not the kind of play you want to hurry. Scarlett is the back. He's got it, but he doesn't have the first down. That play was doomed from the start. And Drayden Carlberg in for Faliu, who just was helped off, made the play.
Carlberg's right here. You're going to see linemen pulling, and he's able to shoot through a gap, get low, and affect the handoff where Scarlett is not able to get a yard. So confusion from the very beginning, from the sideline, getting the play in, getting the right personnel. and too slow developing.
Exactly. They were put behind the 8 ball there by the slowness of the substitution. And now Amadi to get the punt from Bailey. It is a low line drive, and Amadi's got a chance. Ugo Amadi circled back into the arms of a tackler, and Oregon will take over midway third quarter, up 17 in plus territory.
Now this big offensive line from Oregon has done a great job from the first drive. This ended their first drive just dominating up front, pushing people around. How about this? Oregon too tight, giving Stanford some of their own medicine, and again pushing people around, and this is a big touchdown. Watch the guards pull around, pick up nice blocks on the linebackers. Look at the hole that the freshman Verdell has to run through. Takes that all the way to the house. So we've been talking a lot about Justin Herbert, deservingly so, but that offensive line's been physical up front.
Yeah, they've had a 2-to-1 ratio of run to pass here. It's the 30th running play of the night, and C.J. Verdell muscles his way for a nice first down gain. Aerial coverage on this beautiful night provided by Goodyear. From the end zone to the uprights, nothing comes between hard work and a goal. Goodyear, more driven. Gorgeous sunset here in the Willamette Valley. As you know, it's a beautiful Pinot Noir country.
Oh, absolutely.
Coast range here.
Yeah. I got up at 4 this morning for game day.
So no Pinot Noir for you last night?
No, sir.
No. I enjoyed it for you.
I'm sure you did.
2nd and 6. Herbert from the pocket and fires. It's just pitch and catch. I mean, Dylan Mitchell has been wide open all night in front of big cushions.
Combination of not being able to get to him. That time he got the ball out quickly. And then the receiver not being challenged off the line of scrimmage. He runs about an 8 to 10 yard route, turns around. By the time he turns, ball's right on top of him, and an easy pitch and catch for this Oregon offense. It's been kind of a theme we've seen all night long.
No matter which hash the ball is snapped in, you got to defend the entire width of the field against this guy. Verdell fires for a short gain here, and Debo made the stop.
Yeah, and incidentally, that's their entire scheme, is stretching you left to right. And when you have a quarterback like Herbert who can make, as you say, every throw, they're on the right hash, far left is in play. I mean, he's going to make that throw, 15, 20-yard outcut that every NFL scout wants to see. He's going to make that throw easy. So puts a lot of stress on the secondary and the safeties.
Big time. They are stressed tonight. Stressed and stretched. Verdell again a short gain. He started out 7 for 7, had that incompletion you referenced, which is just unacceptable, and now has reeled off 8 consecutive completions.
You know, the other thing that's really helped him tonight is the success they've had on 1st and 10. Quite the opposite of Stanford, who's been struggling, just averaging at about a yard on 1st and 10. We've seen Oregon tonight right around 6 yards, setting up very manageable 2nd and 3rd downs.
There's a 26th snap for the Ducks in Cardinal territory. The field has been tilted all night. Now Herbert again wide open as Mitchell. DB slipped that time, and they are inside the 20.
And the same thing. Dylan Mitchell, uncontested off the line of scrimmage, runs this route right here. Watch the timing with the quarterback. 1, 2, 3, foot in the ground, ball's out. Boom. You do that over and over and over in the offseason. You do it in your sleep. Look at that tight spiral. Poor Dylan Mitchell, he couldn't get his hands up. That ball hit him right in the chest. Lucky to hold on to that one.
On the reverse, Jalen Red for the pylon. Touchdown! They use it as deception. They really have not given the football to receivers on the run play until tonight. And that one worked out well.
I love the nonchalant little pitch from Herbert. We'll show it to you in a second after the extra point. Instead of handing it off, he just kind of casually just kind of flips it underhand like, go ahead, take it.
And Jalen Red, one of those guys who was not a receiver in high school, but he has blazing speed. Watch him turn the corner after the...
Watch the pit. Watch the little... There you go, kid. And there's the speed. Holder's out there. Nice block there by Breland, and then it's just speed. It's old school Oregon there. Speed to the corner.
It's been a tough night for Frank Buncombe. The safety has not been prepared for the speed of these ball carriers. Another rough angle taken, and he just gets the pylon right on the foot. We got to see the progressive pylon cam because it got kicked. And boom, as the ball crosses the plane before the foot lands out of bounds. We asked for it. Here it is. You're about to get a cleat in your face. Jalen Redd scores his 4th touchdown of the season. First 3 receiving. This receiving core, what a satisfying night for them. Yeah, Herbert's been so accurate. The catches haven't been all that tough, but they've been dropping easy balls a lot last year and a lot in the first 3 games.
Yeah, they have. That's not been the story tonight. I think they're just trying to see where the ball is when his foot hits that pylon.
Had a couple of good looks at it.
I don't know if there's anything there that would allow them to be able to take that touchdown off the board.
Dave Kataya's had a quiet night. He's waving at you. No, he thinks this will.
We're in his territory too out here.
I know. We finally come to a Pac-12 game where Dave was the supervisor.
After review, it was determined the runners left
80 yards when the Stanford offense has struggled is enormous. Is that a turning point or just a temporary setback for this Ducks offense? Let's go to Cassidy Hubbard with an update.
Thanks, Chris. We have a final in Norman. Army on 4th and 7 at the 22-yard line. Down 7. Kelvin Hopkins intercepted. And number 5, Oklahoma survives despite Army having 339 rushing yards. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Sigh of relief in the Sooner Nation. What an effort by Army on the road.
No doubt. Speaking of efforts, Kentucky up on Mississippi State big in Lexington.
Break up the Wildcats.
Yeah. It's over now. They've beaten Mississippi State.
So Florida and Mississippi State have been beaten by Mark Stoops' team. Travis Dye, the freshman back, is in there. All of a sudden there's a little hush here.
Yeah.
This is a ball game now. And Dye, his big brother Troy, is a linebacker on this team. A short first down gain. Michael Williams, defensive tackle, stopped him. Let's see if this gives the Stanford defense some new energy, Kirk. Their head has been spinning all night.
Their head's been spinning, and they've been on their heels because of the attack of the Oregon offense. So after all of the last few plays, it's a really big series for both these teams right now.
Herbert, plenty of time, flips it up underneath, and that's Dye out of the backfield, who was slung down physically 3 yards short of a first down. Okereke stopped him.
Ricky right there taking away the deeper throws, forcing him to check it down, and then you got to make a play in space, which he was able to do. Remember, they've been bringing a little bit more pressure. When they've gotten Herbert to third down, they've been mixing up their looks, trying to show blitz one way, fall back out of that, bring the blitz from another way. Let's see what they do here on third down.
Ducks need 3. Herbert is pressured a bit, but doesn't matter. He fires it across, incomplete, in and out of the hands there of Johnson.
Looked like a Debo who's in coverage there. Does he get his hand on that and knock it away from Johnson? Ball is thrown again pretty well. I think maybe the ground knocked that ball out. See if he gets a hand on that. No, I think the ground eventually knocks the ball loose.
As his knee was hitting, see if they buzz down and take a look at that one. The Oregon punt team is out there. And no buzz down from the replay official yet. We'll let the call stand. Snee, the Aussie, gets it away, and a fair catch made for. So Stanford, after the scoop and score, gets a 3 and out, and we'll get the football back. Kick off your NFL Week 3, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Eastern Time on ESPN. Sunday NFL Countdown. And like everything else, it's on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere.
Talk about a turn of events. 31-7 to now 24-14. And the crowd is not nearly as involved as they were. Stanford has an opportunity. KJ Costello and Brian Love have an opportunity. Let's see what they do with it.
It's been the Ducks in the comfort zone since the early minutes of this football game. No longer. Bryce Love, is it his time to bust one loose? He's 53 yards rushing on 15 carries. It's a first down throw, and they fire it short. Colby Parkinson, the big tight end, moves the sticks to the 46.
Big fella at 6'7", 240. I thought we might see him more involved when you get a matchup with a 6'7" tight end against an undersized safety or corner, but we've not called his name much. But I love the first down throw, breaking the trend of running the football with Bryce Love.
First catch by Parkinson.
Protecting the corners with the safeties over top.
Costello, another first down throw. Looks downfield for Irwin, who comes back and makes the catch. A downfield back shoulder fade in front of Graham.
Amodi, they end up bringing on the blitz. See 7 right there. That creates a one-on-one matchup, and Holland takes away the underneath throw, and then the corner, Thomas Graham, never turns his body, never gets his eyes turned back to find the ball, and Irwin locates it early, does a good job of adjusting back to pick up some big yards.
32 yards. What a turnaround here in the third quarter. Final 30 seconds of the third period. Love through the middle. Bryce Love heading to the end zone. Just dances in. Finally, they signal touchdown. And the Cardinal have come storming back.
How about this, Chris? This time he doesn't wait on 54, Nick Wilson. He cuts in front of him, says, I've been waiting on you all night. It's slowing me down. He gets out in front of him. Well designed on the right side. And now they're going to take a peek to see where the ball was when he goes for the pylon.
Amadi was shoving him out. Here's the progressive pylon cam. The ball, did it cross outside of that sideline before you get in the end zone? We're going to have another review here.
You're not going to be able to tell from that vantage point.
Tries to tap that toe in bounds, kind of goes over that corner of the end zone. And they will take a look at where the football was.
How ironic after the last call that went against Oregon.
Bring in Dave Katai. How do you see this this replay? We got the hat cam on the official there.
The key is here, he has to touch some part of his body in the end zone to get that goal line to extend out of bounds. At this point, I don't see anything to reverse this call. It's not clear, but let's see if any part of his body touches in the end zone. It does not. Therefore, he does not get the goal line extended out of bounds. He's got to bring it over the pylon or on the inside side of the pylon.
Look at the presence of mind, too. He gets his foot so that he doesn't touch the pylon to put himself out of bounds in midair. I mean, imagine thinking about that in that move.
At this point, I don't have an... They need to stand on this. That's the way I see it.
Well, that enormous reversal that took the touchdown off the board, scored by Jalen Redd, led to the fumble and the return and turned this game around. And Stanford, a PAT within a field goal.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands as called.
Just talked about how big of a drive that was for the two teams. 3 plays, 65 yards, and a touchdown. And you've got to give Stanford a lot of credit for just hanging in there. Body blow, body blow, body blow. They didn't panic, and they find themselves now, after this extra point, a field goal away from being tied up in the game.
.234 consecutive PATs made by Stanford. We got a ball game, folks. Late third quarter, 3-point lead for Oregon.
Well, we came into this game, you and I think everybody, we're going to learn a lot more about Stanford and Oregon. And now heading into this fourth quarter, we're really going to find out what these two teams are made out of.
Bailey figures to just boot this out of the end zone, as he almost always does. Dye is going to take a knee.
What a turn of events. What has happened here. This Oregon team looked like right here. They're going to go up 31-7. They called this a touchdown on the field. Kicks the pylon. Ball was just to the outside.
Then the awful snap and out the air. Look at the athletic play to scoop that up and race 80 yards.
Goes to speed, and then they get that Oregon offense off the field, and Bryce Love with that touchdown. Don't forget the 32-yard pass to Irwin, where the corner Graham never found the football, and just like that, this just happened. Blink of an eye, it's 24-21.
Dye, the freshman, stays in the game. This place has got quiet all of a sudden. Herbert fires far side. When in doubt, just go out there to Dillon Mitchell, who hasn't really been covered all night. Threw it in front of Adebo. So we are headed to the fourth quarter here, but the lead suddenly is just 3. Back for the final 15 minutes at Autzen Stadium after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Tradition here in Eugene, they play Shout at the end of the third quarter on the campus where Animal House was filmed. 40th anniversary of that movie. Otter on game day.
Yeah,
the Ducks.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
The Ducks pick looked safe a while ago, but Stanford has roared back. Beginning of the final quarter, and it's Dye on a second down carry. All of a sudden, huge energy in the Stanford defense. That's Jordan Fox with the hard hit. It'll be third down.
Doing a really good job of getting the outside pressure, getting upfield with Wade Perry that time, the big defensive tackle. But Jordan Fox attacking and getting off blocks and knifing in from the outside. So those yards where they were bouncing and running the ball to the perimeter are no longer there against this Stanford defense.
Now Dillon Mitchell, number 13, is in the slot to the right. He comes in motion now. He's been the reliable target for Herbert in situations like this. Herbert steps up. He's going to be trapped and knocked down. Sacked. And Stanford will get the football back. Dylan Jackson and Jordan Fox combined.
Like, great job here. Watch the linebacker right here. Does a really good job. Okereke takes away the target. Breland takes away the underneath route of Schooler. Nowhere to go. That's just great awareness of the down and distance by Okereke, taking away those shorter routes, and Herbert, eventually the pressure gets to him.
Wow. So the Cardinal will get the football back. Michael Wilson, the true freshman punt returner, standing at his 30. Tom Snee on the punt, and he'll run out to the right and kick a high one down there. And the true freshman makes a fair catch at the 35-yard line. Stanford, down only 3, gets the football back. This place is quiet. Ducks look shell-shocked. Consecutive 3-and-outs forced by that Cardinal defense. They get the football back. Good field position, down only 3. Bryce Love, we're still waiting on a home run ball from number 20. Scored the touchdown last time, has not busted one of those patented long runs yet. They feed him on first down. Just feel like he's due.
Yeah, you better wrap him up. His legs don't stop moving. I mean, he is 5'10", 202 pounds. He's put some weight on, about 10 pounds more of muscle. This guy went over 2,000 yards a year ago, played half the year with a gimpy ankle. How many times did we see him check himself out of games last year only to come back? Now he's healthy, and as Chris said, if you don't wrap him up, he'll shake a tackle and accelerate quicker than any back in the country.
Costello from the pocket delivers across the middle, and it's Smith making a catch. The big tight end finally wrestled down inside the 40.
Well, you got to love the design of this play. You'll see a big tight end as this play develops, coming underneath. Parkinson occupies, this tight end right here occupies Dye, the middle linebacker, which brings him up and then opens up a nice passing lane over top of him. Well designed, and a great read and delivery there by KJ Costello.
Javon Holland, the true freshman corner, made the tackle, a 22-yard gain. And suddenly it's Oregon's defense that needs to make a play to regain momentum. Crowd trying to get involved again. Love cuts it back, gets a block from the quarterback, gets the edge, and motors down after about a 7-yard gain.
You hold on, you hold your breath. Thomas Graham, give him credit. It's one-on-one out there. He gets a little shake. Give him credit for at least slowing down Bryce Love, because if he doesn't, if he gets around him right there and gives him the corner, it's trouble. At least he slowed him down, and eventually Justin Hollins forces him out of bounds. Otherwise, that's 15, 20 minimum with his acceleration.
He got 8, and now Love joined by Scarlett. 2-back look.
KJ Costello looks to be in command right now, doesn't he?
Got to hurry this one. Just get it off. And from the pocket, Costello lofts it looking for Love, and a wheel route, but the Ducks defense was all over it. They had a linebacker and a D lineman on him.
You, Mike Black, your spotter, everybody. Oregon's defense, everybody, when they saw 2 backs in the backfield, knew look out for the wheel route, look out for a running back out of the backfield. They got 2 guys running with them.
Oh, Jalen Jelks, the defensive lineman, down there running in coverage. 3rd and 2. It's Scarlett in. Bryce Love out. And Scarlett will earn close to first down yardage. Let's see where they're going to run in and spot this. I think he's short.
I think he's short by about a half a yard.
Justin Hollins held on. Now 4th down.
They brought a blitz from the field.
David Shaw says, forget the field goal. We're just going to bring in some giant bodies and
bring in the big fellas. Bring in the big fellas and see what happens. Remember we talked about Oregon has been more physical at the line of scrimmage?
They better be this time.
The big fella in the middle, 34, Jordan Scott. Let's see if he can make a play in the middle against the big boys from Stanford.
You got 2 guards in the backfield. Handoff. No, he didn't get there. All those big bodies. All those pounds. They couldn't move the pile, and the Ducks defense makes a huge stop.
I just said Jordan Scott. He's either offsides or he's jumped the snap count. Wait till you see how quickly he gets off the ball. If you're watching at home, you think somebody may have jumped. Watch the big man we just talked about right here. Right there. I mean, there's nothing that you can do when a defensive lineman on 4th and short gets off that quickly.
Jalen Jelks got a long arm on the ball carrier around the edge there, too.
Chafin the center. Burkett is out and Chafin is in, and he snaps that ball, and there's nothing you can do. We just said we challenged Jordan Scott, make a play, and he sure did.
You face Stanford, you know you're going to have moments in a football game, but you're going to have to just deal with the raw muscle. The intellectual brutality is what the Cardinals call it. They dealt with it there. You just sensed that the Ducks defense was going to have to do something. This team has been staggered by the Stanford comeback. Now we'll see if Oregon's offense can get back on track. Consecutive 3 and outs. They fake it to die. Herbert rolls out and now just flips it. They left Mitchell alone. They went and played the quarterback run, and Herbert made him pay, and they're in Cardinal territory.
There's confusion there when Dylan Mitchell went in motion. Adebo runs with him, 11, and then he kind of starts to point to him like somebody pick him up. Nobody picks him up. Blown coverage, flips it out there, and then he has all kinds of room after the catch across midfield.
And the Ducks, after moving the sticks, trying to play with some tempo. Dye has a crease, but it closes down very quickly. Could not run through the physical arm tackle there. Big number 57, Michael Williams.
Yeah, Michael Williams, they've been rotating bodies at that spot, the nose guard spot. Wade Perry and Williams both playing. Okereke, fit 20s, also getting involved in there, eating up some of those blocks.
Williams, the guy who backed up Harrison Phillips last year and stepping into those huge shoes. One of the dominant players on the defensive side in college football a year ago, Phillips.
Against this up-tempo attack, they've had to rotate bodies the best they can. Try to stay fresh for this 4th quarter.
Travis Dye takes off, and the speed evident there as he quickly motored near the marker at the 39.
I think between all the backs, what I've seen tonight, because they've got about 4 or 5 to get chances, C.J. Verdell and Travis Dye, you talk about hitting a hole downhill in a hurry. They do that. Part of that's youth, and sometimes you want them to maybe be a little more patient, but with the design of these plays, they need to hit it downhill and attack that Stanford defense, which is what they've done.
The Dye brothers making plays then on offense and defense. Looked about Troy, and a flag is down at the snap here. Dylan Jackson on the tackle. Oregon has not been penalized but one time
Holding.
tonight until now.
Offense, number 55, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
It's Jake Hansen, who's had a tough night with some snaps, guilty of that holding penalty.
He locked up with Dylan Jackson, who ended up actually getting involved and making the play.
Well, they moves the ball back to the 49, Kirk.
Those mistakes, if you end up not getting a first down, and they had some momentum, they were really going after Stanford, and all of a sudden you got to go back 10 yards, kills that momentum.
And hand it off to Dye, and he's smothered. And that's going to be second and very long. Bunkum on the tackle. Clock quickly now inside of 8:45 to play. It's a role reversal here. It's a, you think of Stanford smothering you with defense, building the lead, and then grinding away. Instead, it's Stanford storming back, coming back in this game, and now the Ducks desperate to keep the six moving and burn some clock here. Second and 18. Herbert has good protection, flips it off short, and the catch is made by Johnny Johnson, who's weaving through the secondary. Fights down inside the 35. It'll be 3rd and 5 now.
With it being second and such long yardage to pick up, Stanford's dropping everybody deep. They had 7 guys back deep, and Herbert, knowing the speed and acceleration of his receivers, just checks it down to Johnson with so much room to run after that catch, and now they've got a very manageable first down opportunity after that setback of 10 yards on the holding call.
Not really in field goal range for Adam Steck yet. Herbert fires into traffic, doesn't matter. Diving catch is made. Brendan Schooler, who's coming back, he's been out injured, going through the concussion protocol, makes a catch.
How about the location of this football? Pretty good coverage there by Adebo. Low and away. Look at this placement. Low and away where he can come back to it. If he doesn't put that ball there, that right arm of Adebo knocks that ball away. So
uncanny.
Unbelievable. Great spot to be able to throw that ball exactly where it needed to be.
21 of 23 now, Herbert. Important first down. Cardinals swarm the backfield. Dye had no chance. Over Swan, the very quick defensive end, made the play.
Swan typically either comes this way or this way. This time, he actually reverses, goes the other way, and completely catches the center, Jake Hansen, by surprise. Based on their alignment, they were expecting Swan to move and slant angle to the offense's right. Instead, a good call to throw that changeup, go the other way, and the line completely caught off guard.
Herbert from the pocket goes underneath, and the catch is made by Breland, and the tight end down inside the 20. It'll be 3rd and 4.
You know, when you have a big arm like Justin Herbert, you get into the crucial moment in the game. It's so easy to want to fire the ball downfield like he's done a lot tonight. But how about the patience and the poise, letting those deeper routes go, letting Stanford take that away, and just checking it down to guys that are on the move, hitting them in stride, and letting them run after the catch.
Dye, the tailback, split to the left here on 3rd and 4. It's a different look. Now he motions back in. They give it to him. And the freshman fights, but he doesn't have first down yardage. And now, Kirk, a decision for Cristobal. Adam Stack, first-year field goal kicker. You send him out for a try that would only give you a 6-point lead.
What did he tell us at the meeting yesterday? He learned from Nick Saban in these kind of big games, coach to win. Don't coach not to lose, coach to win.
He didn't hesitate for long. The offense is on the field. And they need less than a yard. It's not the physical back, Verdell. It's Dye in the game. Going with quickness over power in this situation. And a mix-up. And now the quarterback rolling around, and Herbert flips it. It's Mitchell. Mitchell has a first down. Mitchell has a touchdown. Not like they drew it up, Kirk, but it worked.
Hey, you know what, though? The threat of him running, it was a little sloppy as far as the handoff. I think it's because he sees pressure. But this right here, watching him get out here affects these defenders. They start to come over towards him. He baits them to come to him. He knew all along where he wanted to go with that ball, but he sold it like he was going to run for the first down, and then he makes the throw.
Let's check this, the progressive pylon cam. They had one touchdown taken off the board, and this one looks like it'll come off the board as well, as the knee hit when the ball was being extended short of the goal line. They'll spot this inside the 1.
That's almost all the way back out to the 1-yard line.
So we'll step aside while they take a look at this. It feels like it's going to be 1st and goal, not a touchdown.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Wells Fargo. Established 1852, re-established 2018. In part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Ford, going further so you can.
It was a wild game 3 years ago. 900 yards in offense and a 2-point stop with 10 seconds to go, preserving the win. Ball has been spotted at the 1-yard line, so not to ruin the suspense of Mike McCabe here, but I think the replay booth will take the touchdown off the board and give Oregon a 1st and goal.
After review, it was determined the runner was short of the goal line, down at the 1-yard line. It would be 1st and goal for Oregon at the 1-yard line.
No foregone conclusions given what happened the last time Oregon was in this situation in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, not at all. And Purdell looks like he's going into the locker room. He's been a hard runner tonight for them. Last time they got a little bit cute down in this area, and it backfired on them. Let's see if they just go run it right out of the pistol and run right downhill and challenge Stanford.
And Cyrus Habibi-Likio, who was part of that mishap, he's been their touchdown scorer, their short yardage guy. He's behind Herbert. He's got the football, and all he does is score touchdowns. 6 carries this season, 5 touchdowns.
And no more of that diamond formation, craziness, pistol, line it up, give it to the back, let him go right behind that line. It's been doing a great job tonight.
This is an Oregon team they were rocked. They had been rattled by Stanford's comeback. They moved it 70 yards, Kirk, and importantly, 11 plays and 6 minutes, 11 seconds to reclaim what will be a double-digit lead. Stack can make the PAT. Impressive.
And left side of the line, watch your left guard, Lemieux, left tackle Sewell, doing a good job. He runs right through the tackle of Sean Barton, the middle linebacker, but his good push up front.
How can that big left tackle be 17 years old? It's impossible.
17.
Mario Cristobal says that's my kind of football. The lead is 10, 4:39 to play as the Ducks score for the first time after halftime. And Emerson, let's see if he tries to boot it away from Bryce Love, who is standing back there. Nope, he's going to have a go. Actually, stepping in front of him was Scarlett. Bryce Love, not the regular kick returner, but Scarlett said, I'll take this one. He didn't get far. Kirk, time for your mayhem moment, brought to you by Allstate.
I mean, does it get any more crazy than this? Old Dominion, Blake LaRussa with a touchdown pass to Jonathan Duhart. Old Dominion shocks the world with an upset. It's a game-winning touchdown, 29 yards. It's an Old Dominion team, the Monarchs, 0-3 coming in. They had scored 55 points in 3 games. Today, 632 yards and 49 points against Virginia Tech.
Lost by 6 touchdowns to Liberty.
Right.
Beat the Hokies.
That's mayhem. If there's mayhem in college football, that's it.
Urgency now. The Cardinal down 2 scores. And Costello down the seam as a man running free. Osiris St. Brown got between defenders, exactly what they needed in the first play of the drive.
Exactly what you need. Well conceived play. Boy, there's the speed. He's able to pull away from Thomas Graham, the top corner from Oregon. But the safety in the middle of the field, not there. Nick Pickett, and Costello is able to make a perfect throw there on 1st and 10. They needed big yards, and they just picked them up.
49 of them. Costello steps up in the pocket, lofts down the middle, jump ball, and it's Smith again, the tight end, outmuscles the defender.
When in doubt, you go to the big tight ends. Down the middle of the field, they've got 2 of them. This time it's Caden Smith, who's had a great night tonight. 6 receptions, 95 yards. And boy, in 2 plays in 37 seconds, they're right down inside the 15-yard line.
Now you got that jump ball potential situation. Arcega-Whiteside caught one earlier.
And the big tight end is now at the bottom. Colby Parkinson at 6'7".
Ducks got to flinch. They showed pressure crowding the line. And A.T. Hall's the right tackle.
And Jesse Burkett, it's just they're waiting and waiting and waiting for the snap to get up. It's easy to look at the right tackle, Hall.
Offense, number 75.
You saw
5-yard penalty, still first down.
Nate Hermick touched the center. That means, hey, let's go, snap the ball, especially not to mention the clock's the enemy right now. So it's easy to look at Hall and say, why did he jump? But I think the center that time affected that with the delayed snap to get it up. Now, instead of having the tight end Parkinson at the bottom, he's down now at the slot with Arcega-Whiteside all the way at the bottom.
Costello looking that direction, lofts it, end zone, touchdown, Arcega-Whiteside again. And Stanford very much alive.
You put them both on the same.
More Pac-12 action. Arizona State,
right.
Washington on ESPN. Jake Browning to Aaron Fuller. But the Sun Devils are up 10-7. Again, flip over to ESPN once we're done with this battle in Eugene. Guys?
And it's still a battle. You're exactly right here. Kickoff coming, 3:10 to go. And Oregon they're sort of wary for the onside kick. Brooks James is back, but he's the only guy deep. They somehow sensed that something was coming, but Toner just does what he does and boots it out there. All right, Kirk, let's show the fade technique of this Cardinal offense.
First, watch the route. I mean, the route at the line of scrimmage right there. See the movement? Once you have a receiver that beats a defensive back so badly, that affects the quarterback and where he's going to throw the ball. So in that case, you don't need to throw it to the pylon, the back corner. You know, it's not a back shoulder fade. These quarterbacks from Stanford, Andrew Luck, Kevin Hogan, they make a determination of where to go with the ball based on their receivers and how they get off the line of scrimmage. They react to the defense's coverage.
On the touchback, there was a flag.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the receiving team, number 3. That penalty will be half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, it's Johnny Johnson, and that mental mistake backs Stanford up. The poor field position. Maria?
Well, Chris, coming into this matchup, Mario Cristobal knew that his team would be in for a fight. So what did he do? He showed him one of the universally known best fights of all time. It was the first meeting between Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. In the 9th round is the video that he showed, blow for blow. He wanted his team to know it's not about how many hits you take, how many times you fall down on the mat. It's about how many times you get back up. Ward won that matchup in a narrow decision, and Mario Cristobal hoping that his Oregon Ducks win this one.
Still love Chip Kelly used to love Irish Mickey Ward. I was more of an Arturo Gatti guy. I actually attended the second fight, which was just as brutal as that one was. So now 3:10 to go. For Dell, who was checked out by the elect trainers, is back in the game. And Herbert's pump faking. Looking downfield, looking for his favorite target tonight. And the catch is made. Now, Dylan Mitchell's had a lot of easy catches, Kirk. That was a tough one, beautifully made.
Debo in tight coverage. Talking about Stanford and where they put their fades. How about this placement again? Back shoulder up high. Tough adjustment for the defensive back. And a great adjustment locating the ball by Dylan Mitchell and getting his foot down.
How about the call by Marcus Arroyo? And you talked about the aggressive approach from Cristobal. You don't play timid in these big games. Backed up after the penalty. A tough throw for his quarterback to get 23 yards on that play. They fake it to Verdell. A flag is down. Herbert flips it. Once again, it's Mitchell. And he'll be finally corralled after a short gain. The penalty marker all the way across on the near side. A few mental mistakes by this Oregon offense in the second half.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Yeah, you had the running back, C.J. Verdell, move from a pistol to the left to the quarterback, and before he could get set, you had Dylan Mitchell, who was in motion. So that's why they call the illegal shift.
So Stanford's going to spend a timeout here. Interesting. They've got 3 to work with. You want to try to use them on defense as they did in the first half, preserve time for the offense. 2nd and 7 after this break. Oh, they're going all in right here. Pacific Life game summary. Tell you what, it's been an incredibly impressive performance by Herbert. Only 2 incompletions. They've scored 3 touchdowns on the ground. 3 different running backs have scored. And for receiver Dylan Mitchell, one of the great receiving nights in Oregon history, 14 for 239.
And with all the compliments we can give Oregon, you just have to at the same time say Stanford, they just kind of hung in there. They hung in there, and they've given themselves on the road in a tough environment where they haven't had a great night offensively. They've come alive here a little bit late in the second half, but it's not been a great night, but they're within 3 points.
And the clock management that he's done frequently, you spend the timeouts on defense to hopefully preserve as much time as possible for your offense to try to engineer the win. Remember, but they need to stop here.
You have a quarterback that's a threat. When they roll him out, he can be a runner or a thrower. Puts a lot of pressure on a defense.
Verdell is the back. Huge play. Quarterback keeper. Good call, Kurt. And Herbert into Cardinal territory for a crucial first down. And Stanford can stop the clock just one more time.
Not just tonight, but the rest of this season in the Pac-12. Watch Jordan Fox sell out to come down because he's convinced that Verdell is going to get the football. Collapses down, and all they needed was for Justin Herbert to be able to get to the corner and pick up about 4 yards, and he's easily able to do that.
Ryan Bay, the tight end, pulled around to make the block. And now, clock running inside of 2 minutes. Verdell is still the back, and Shaw can't do a whole lot about the clock now. Just stop it once. They use almost all the play clock, and Verdell off the left side runs hard and picks up 7 on first down. Now do you hold the timeout and you spend it after a gain like that? He may save it.
Yeah, you got to hold on to it. Verdell is a young freshman. It's just gaining more and more confidence throughout this game. They're trying to find out which one of these 4 or 5 backs is going to emerge. 34 is throwing his hat in the ring. He wants to be the guy.
100-yard game. He has outrushed Bryce Love on 19 carries. 112 and a touchdown. They can still run 12 more seconds on the play clock before snap. They could take it well under a minute here. Verdell again, and he'll work hard to move the step. Ball's out. The ball came out. A fumble recovered by Stanford. Stanford has the ball with 51 seconds left. Sean Barton came up with it. Can you believe it?
One of the things that can happen when you're fighting for those yards is you got to be smart and know when to get down. And so while you love to see him fighting for those yards, the last thing you can do is lose the football. And if he goes down, he's fine. I think Barton actually gets his hand on the ball. Let's say no. It's another defender.
It's Williams who came in there and punched the ball loose.
Yeah, and then the ball's on the ground definitely before he touches. And then it's Sean Barton, one of the leaders of this defense, that ends up jumping on top of it. The way this second half has gone, you're just thinking, if you're an Oregon fan, let's just kill the clock. After the first down by Herbert on the run, you basically could take 3 knees and the game's over.
You're right, though. Young back there fighting for yardage, loses the ball. They're reviewing this. I don't think there's anything that's going to cause the call to be changed. Oregon, a 500-yard night, but a couple of crucial fumbles here in the second half.
After review, the ruling of a fumble and a recovery by the defense is confirmed.
So the first was an 80-yard scoop and score by Alfieri. This one, when the game was all but won, gives Stanford life from the 40.
Little did Mario Cristobal know that that fight that Maria talked about that he showed his team would be so relevant to this game tonight with 51 seconds remaining.
But maybe for the other side.
It could. We'll see how it finishes.
So from the 40-yard line to give Jet Toner a chance, they're going to have to move the ball about 25 yards realistically minimum.
Costello switches over his 2 receivers, Irwin and Arcega-Whiteside.
Arcega-Whiteside to the left. Costello against a 4-man rush. Pressured as he throws, and it's incomplete. Smith could not fight back to the football, but that time Carlberg, the backup end, got in the quarterback's face.
He couldn't get a throw on it because of Carlberg closing in on him. He just couldn't step into the throw and get anything on it. With that formation, they're just trying to open up the middle of the field and trying to get the tight ends to win a one-on-one matchup against the safety, Amadi.
This time, better protection. Incomplete, though. Broken up. Tried to get it to Arcega-Whiteside, and Graham made the play. Third down.
You don't see David Shaw get fired up very often, but he was pretty fired up on that play. He felt Graham got in there a little bit too early. 42 seconds left. I still think you work the middle of the field with Caden Smith. The big tight end, 82. He's got to win a one-on-one battle. He's your guy. He's got to make a play right here.
2 plays to make 10 yards and keep hope alive for Stanford. Costello. Clean pocket. Strike. First down. Parkinson. They're in Oregon territory.
You got one of the other tight ends. Caden Smith is taken away. Opens it up for Parkinson. Again, a one-on-one battle. The tight ends are very tough to match up with because of their size.
They don't spend the timeout. Clock running inside of 30. They need 10 yards or so for field goal range. Costello underneath. Catch made. Arcega-Whiteside fighting clear. Finally bumped out inside the 30. They're in field goal range with 18 seconds.
Chris, that's big time there. Thomas Graham has a chance. He's just got to make a tackle there. How about the effort by Arcega-Whiteside to come out of that move, puts his foot in the ground, gets to the outside, and gives him a chance to get out of bounds to stop that clock. You're thinking touchdown right now if you're KJ Costello.
So we got the timeout to work with. Plenty of time on the play clock. Costello looks for Love, and Bryce Love well covered out of the backfield. He's not going to get first down yardage.
You got to fire the ball right into the ground. You got to fire it.
You got to hurry.
You got to fire it. Better get some urgency to you.
No urgency. 5 seconds to go, and they finally called a timeout. They weren't going to get the spike off.
No, I think KJ Costello is looking worried about the spot, and David Shaw from the sideline, they held on to that last timeout, able to use it.
I think you're right, though. The quarterback was thinking touchdown, not field goal, and a good job to corral Bryce Love. If he gets the first down, they stop the clock momentarily to move the chains, probably get another play in.
Yeah, you probably get one shot to the end zone before you would attempt a field goal. But
Goodyear providing aerial coverage. Keep pushing day in and day out on the field and on tires you can trust to help you go the distance. Goodyear, more driven. So Jet Toner is the junior kicker from Hawaii. We're a career. He's been very, very reliable. 25 of 31. Hasn't attempted a field goal tonight. But you usually feel good about a veteran kicker in this situation. And Stanford to try to force overtime after being on the ropes big time in the third quarter. 37 yards. Will give us some bonus football at Autzen Stadium tonight. And Oregon will spend a timeout, try to ice the kicker.
No, I think flags came out.
Check it.
Unless they called a time. Flags are out there.
Legal substitution, defense, 12 players in formation, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Okay, so they're trying to get an extra guy out there. That just makes it slightly shorter field goal now. It'll be about 32 yards. The Ford wrap-up show coming up, but if Toner knocks this through, we're going to have overtime here. Now they'll ice him.
Yeah, they've got 3 of them.
Wow. Stanford, 46 seconds to move 46 yards in 5 plays. Arcega-Whiteside made the big catch and broke that tackle to get out of bounds and set him up.
That was huge. We've talked all night about Justin Herbert, but KJ Costello, 304 yards now through the air. And not only that, just the presence about him in this second half. They put 21 points up on the board in the second half alone, and this game looked like it was out of reach.
24-7. Oregon's going to go in before the fumble.
They're going to go 31-7. And obviously they catch a break, but I'm just talking about his temperament. He's still a relatively young guy. You got to like the look of what you've seen from KJ Costello, keeping his poise throughout this game.
32 yards after the penalty to tie the game. Toner coolly knocks it through as the scoreboard reads 000, and we will have overtime in Autzen. You get the Cardinal and the Ducks together, Kirk.
I love it, man.
Like this.
You don't have a bread idea. We're good. Let's keep going.
I do, but who cares? Stanford had just 1 timeout to go. The game seemed to be safely within Oregon's grasp.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the overtime period. If you win the toss, you have 3 choices: offense, defense, or which end of the field. Stanford, you're the visiting team. It's your decision again. Go ahead and make your choice now. Heads or tails? Heads. Stanford calls heads. It's tails. You won the toss. What's your choice?
So Stanford's going to get the football first.
Okay. Oregon has won the toss, and they will be starting on defense.
Well, Oregon had the lead. It seemed comfortable. This place was rocking. Then the miscues, and it started with the simple stuff. The fumble on the goal line, and then all of a sudden the center was having trouble snapping the ball.
Alfieri picks this up. I mean, it could have been 31-7 instead. 24-14, and the miscues continue. This is a fumble late when they're trying to just kill the clock. Game is over. Gives the ball back to Stanford. 12 men on the field. Makes it just a little bit easier for them to have the potential game-tying field goal, and eventually Toner puts it through. So
he was going to make that one anyway, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Oregon they're going to look back at this game. There's so much good about it, but they definitely helped Stanford get back in the game to be in this position of going to overtime, and now they're just going to try to find a way to win it in overtime. Meanwhile, Stanford, as we said, kept their poise, didn't get down too much, and
Costello's get that big wristband, Kirk. It's a complex offense. There's a lot on the quarterback and on the center to call protections, and you got to feel like, you know, they'll like their chances in that fade game when they get down in this territory.
They typically do. Actually, down in the red zone, talked to David Shaw this week about just his feeling. He said it's pretty simple. We like to run the ball, and if they take away the run game, we find matchups that we like, and we've seen that tonight. If you're going to load up against the run, they're going to try to find one-on-one matchups on the edges with the tight ends and the big receivers.
Talked about the comparisons to a big boxing fight here. We're in the 16th round now.
Interesting formation here without the bigger receivers in the game. Arcega-Whiteside.
Love from the eye. Gets the football. And they go to their superstar tailback, and he's knocked down after a 2-yard gain.
But Jardon Scott is a handful in the middle, even into overtime. The big fella at 330 pounds, number 34, just pushing Stanford back into the backfield.
Now they bring the 2 tight ends and Arcega-Whiteside and Irwin in the game.
And now you're going to spread them out, and you're going to make them make a decision. If they're going to load up and take away the deep threat, keep the safeties back, you run the ball. And if they're not, then you take a shot one-on-one. Safeties look a little bit deeper here.
Costello has time. Looks for the end zone. Jump ball. Deflected. Caught. Touchdown Parkinson. The big man on the carom gives the Cardinal the lead.
And with a safety, as I said, on the back end, you've got to be able to throw this ball with a lot of velocity to prevent the safety from getting over. Parkinson playing volleyball with this ball.
He's a volleyball player.
Yeah, goes up, just kind of routinely bats it to himself. And again, keep in mind, he's 6'7". David Shaw says in the red zone, we want to find matchups. You get Parkinson at 6'7", Pickett at 6'1". To match up if the ball's thrown high, which it was, you're going to win.
Little wry smile from the coach there. First lead of the night for Stanford. And now Oregon's offense has to respond with a touchdown at the bottom of the first. They have a lot of sand volleyball courts in the Stanford campus, and this dude spends a lot of time there. At 6'7", he's imposing on the sand volleyball court, too.
I bet. But he just, in Autzen Stadium, in front of this crowd, just routinely smacked that ball over to himself and caught it in the end zone for the first touchdown in the overtime period. All that sand volleyball is paying off for him tonight.
They rarely take a catch in the field of play and run it in. You know, all of their touchdown receptions last year, every one of them was caught in the end zone. They didn't run a single one in from the field of play. Now, they do have one earlier this year, but that's a very typical Stanford touchdown. Ducks fans are
they giving up?
Come on, the offense got a chance here.
Yeah.
This is a test. You know, this is a test of Herbert's leadership now as well. He's been skillful all night. All of a sudden, his team is down for the first time. Travis Dye is the back. Got to be careful with those snaps. Any miscue can end the game. Throw for the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Dylan Mitchell, who was covered over there by Adebo.
Wow, I'm surprised we didn't see a flag here on Adebo, who's a very good player at 6'1", 190. And typically, when you don't get your head turned around to the very last second, usually that's going to be a PI. Adebo at the last second tries to get his head turned around, but he's got his hands on the receiver, Mitchell. I'm just shocked they didn't call that one.
Ball actually hit off Adebo's shoulder pads. So no PI call. 2nd and 10. Three-man rush. Plenty of time. Flipped off underneath. Johnny Johnson. Physical play. He's down at the 10-yard line. First down. Little guy popping the pads.
They rushed 3 and dropped 8. And all 8 were back at about 10 to 12 yards or deeper. We saw that at the end of regulation, and Herbert had to check it down and hope that they could run for the first down yards after the catch, and that's exactly what they did again.
So it's 1st and goal. Dye is still in the game. Totally different approach from Stanford when they get down close. Quarterback's got it, rolling out, still rolling, and just fires down. There was nothing there. Breland was well covered, and the pressure came from Jordan Fox.
Yeah, great coverage downfield. Saw Murphy. Alameen Murphy did a good job of taking away the tight end. And that time, one of the few times tonight, that Jordan Fox is able to get pressure when Herbert has rolled to the outside with the option of running or throwing.
Crowds sometimes don't know how to react in overtime. It is so quiet in this place that's known for deafening noise.
So scary for these fans. You're on the edge of your seat.
It's red in motion. 2nd and goal. Play clock at 3. Herbert fires. End zone. Incomplete. Again looking for Mitchell. Adebo is again in coverage.
One-on-one, and the reason it's one-on-one is because of the blitzes. They're trying to get after him. Remember we talked about affecting him? Noah Williams from the left almost gets to him, but that's a really good effort in coverage. We've seen Herbert make these throws all night. How about the length of Adebo? Are you kidding me? To be able to get his arm extended and get a hand on that ball? Otherwise, that's a tying touchdown.
3rd and goal. 2 plays to get it. From the pocket, zipped again. The same matchup. He's looking for Mitchell, and Adebo breaks it up. No flag.
No, not on this one.
There were 2 incompletions the entire game. He's had 4 in overtime.
Yeah, I talked about the last one was interference. See his head right away? See his head right away get turned? Now he's in position to be able to fight the receiver for the ball. He has just as much of a right as the receiver when he gets his head turned around.
Comes down to this. After leading by as many as 17, Ducks must score on this play to force double overtime. And now a timeout taken. Oregon will spend the timeout. Cristobal was coasting along. This offense was in complete control. They couldn't be slowed down by Stanford. And all of a sudden, now you got to get 10 yards to avoid what would be a tough home field loss.
You know, you're not only as a head coach talking about X's and O's, you're trying to exude confidence to make your team feel that everything's fine. We got them right where we want. That's what you're trying to do, because they're feeding off of your body language, your facial expressions. And because this game has been so lopsided as most of the game in favoring Oregon, now they find themselves 4th down, 10, and they've got to score to be able to get this to a second overtime.
Prayers from Costello for his defense. It's been 14 years since Stanford has come from behind to win a ball game, down 11 plus at halftime. That's how long it's been. Can Herbert breed some magic on 4th and goal? Mitchell is to the right. They rush 4. Herbert, plenty of time, throws across the middle, batted up, intercepted, and Stanford stages a stunning comeback victory at Autzen Stadium. Alameen Murphy on the pick to seal it as the Ducks blow a 17-point lead.
Chris Murphy makes the play for the interception. But how about Elijah Holder, the veteran, big physical defensive back, able to make very similar play that Adebo made.